Chris Stuker for geeknerdnet.com. I am really excited to be joined by cartoonist and writer Zach Schuster. His most recent work to come out is on Kickstarter right now. It is called Dead Work, and it's by the Deadwork Collective. He's going to talk a bit more about that as we get going, but welcome, Zach.
Thank you. Yeah.
No problem, man. Hey, so when you and I first started talking about, when you were telling me about Dead Work, I was like, that's really cool. That's like a lot of projects that maybe didn't find the right home, but always knew they had that cool kind of bent, a different look, a nice indie vibe. It's a mishmash of many genres and creators in the Canadian comic scene. Yeah. So talk a bit about Dead Work and how it got started and where you guys are at. It's on Kickstarter right now, which goes until March 4th, 2022. Yep. So chat about it.
Yeah, well, Dead Work started when a bunch of my friends and I guess I need to back it up already. A bunch of my friends and I come there. Most of them are in Winnipeg, the Dead Work, but I got lumped into that group because of COVID with all the group chats. And then I actually flew out during one of the kind of lulls in COVID to Winnipeg to hang out with those guys. And we were all sitting around in the backyard, socially distanced and chatting about comics. And a lot of us had worked together at that point. Like I helped color my friend Steven's book to hit a deadline last minute. He's like, I need you to help color this. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Lyndon has lettered everybody's stuff and he writes one of my books and some other people's books. So we've all had this like overlapping. If you look at the table of contents on the Dead Work site, it's a lot of overlap. But a lot of us were hanging out in the backyard and we went, I've got all these projects I've worked on. Like, I don't know how to find a home for them because you can't print 6 pages. And if publishers aren't biting on those 6 pages, but you believe in it, it's a good story, we're really happy with it. And all of us had stories like that. Like, I did this, it's been sitting on my hard drive. I can't find I can't put it out by itself, but it's very cool. We all had that. And we went, let's just put it together and make a book. And that's enough pages. And we'll share our work with everybody and hopefully chock full a book of very cool little stories. And that's kind of, as soon as we started talking about it, we all got very excited to make comics and made a couple more. And by the end of it, we had this very large book that we're all very proud of.
Thanks for sharing that. You say it's a large book. How many pages is it? And give us an idea of some of the, if they fit into genres, give us an idea of some of the genres. I know you've got horror and sci-fi.
Yeah, for sure. There's 122 pages of actual comics, 22 stories. And the whole book's 44 pages, I believe. And I'm looking at other Kickstarter anthologies, and a lot of them are charging similar to what we are, but we have like double their page count of comics. So we've really chocked this book full of cool stuff. But yeah, horror by Steven and Chris. If you look at their profiles on our Kickstarter page, there's some really good horror stuff. Gregory Chemichuk's comics are just, I don't even know how to classify them. They're weird. They're very cool and they're weird. Yeah. Same with Chris Smith's actually. They're bonkers. I don't really know how to classify them. I've got some like fantasy in there. There's sci-fi for sure. But it's just a very healthy mix of all the cool stuff we love. And somehow it all feels tonally quite cohesive, even though it's a smorgasbord of different genres. It actually, reading the book, it feels very cool. And Adam, our editor, did a great job of laying it out so they all kind of flow together somehow. I don't know how he did it, but he made it feel like a very cohesive, cool book.
Nice. I mean, you can't go wrong with comics that come across as bonkers. I mean, there's so many stories. Like, yes, I'd like the comic that's about bonkers, and I'd like the other one that's sort of like that too, which is just fun, right? That's what it's about. And it's a if you're watching this right now and you're going to go to the Kickstarter after, which you should, then I would say to people, watch the video, see the intro, and then read through all the creators that are there. I mean, obviously yourself too, Zach. It looks super fun and super cool. Now you've got a early March finish to your campaign. And then I think, if I remember correctly, if I'm not, please correct me. Sure. You're looking at a May 2022 publication date, which would mean it could potentially get into the hands of fans and backers, like around when do you think, depending where they live, I guess.
We're saying June. We're hoping to have a little earlier, but we're saying June to be safe, because right now it's unprecedented paper shortages and shipping craziness and all sorts of nonsense to navigate. So we're saying June, hoping it's earlier, but we can promise June.
Like you said, a lot of these stories, they're cooked and they're ready and they're good to go. And again, you've got this campaign going. Do you get to a point? And I apologize if I missed it. where if you get funded early, do you have any bonuses that are unlocked for that, or it's just like a straight like, nope, we need this funded, and this is when it's going
Yeah.
to come out?
So a lot of campaigns do the stretch goal thing. They set an artificially low goal, or they just plan some stuff after they get funded because they're assuming they're going to blow up. We
Yeah,
tried to keep everything as tight as we could to say, like, this is the 12 grand we're asking for is to print the book and ship it to the backers. Um,
yeah,
that's what we need to make that happen. And after that, we said we didn't specify a number, but after that, any money we receive on top of that, we will start paying out our artists a page rate. We'll kind of divvy it up based on what we've all proportionally made, just because we've spent a lot of time and money on these comics to make it happen. And we did them without the intention of getting paid. So they're passion projects we're really proud of and that we love. And I think that gives them that bit of a spark of like, we wanted to make these. These aren't just for money. Like, these are what we wanted to make. They're very cool. But if we can get some money for those, that would be nice. So we're going to try to divvy that extra up if we get any. At this point, we're on track to get funded, and I don't know how much more, but we'd be super happy to just have a book to give our fans and sell at shows. A lot of, I think 7 or 8 of us of the 9 sell books at shows, like at
yeah.
comic expos when those come back. So if worst case scenario is us getting a new book to sell people, we're still very happy. So getting
That's
funded
very
would be
cool.
awesome. Getting more gravy would be awesome, but getting a new book is great.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned conventions, obviously. I'm excited about shows
Yeah,
coming back.
yeah,
Yeah, so last year, yeah, Calgary Expo did their limited edition show,
yeah.
which was, but it was still after almost 2 years of being away.
It
It
was
was
weird.
so exciting just to see friends and people you haven't connected with in
Yeah,
so long. It's like, oh, this may feel like a weird show, but it's great. And now fast forward to 2022, and the Calgary Expo is doing their full 4 days, and
yeah,
they're celebrating their officially celebrating their 15th anniversary, which would have happened in 2020 as a full show.
sure.
So that's really super cool,
Yeah,
and I'm sure you're excited about it. I'm excited about it
yeah,
to kind of
definitely,
get that convention train going again, right?
for sure.
It's a nice it's a shot in the arm of positive energy, and I think we could
It
all use
is.
that once in a while.
Well, those are friends that I used to see every couple months on the con circuit. Like they'd come through town, you'd go to their city. Like I saw some of my friends like Peter Tchaikovsky, um, who does Rock Paper Cynic is his booth, and he does all sorts of cool stuff like the Deca Worlds. He I saw him every couple months for
Mhm.
years, and we've just been like really good friends for a very long time. And now I see him. I visited him in Vancouver again during the lull in the summer, but like I used to see him all the time, and now that was so cool for someone who lived at that time in Toronto.
Yeah,
But to be able to see all your friends a couple times a year, it was just like that was so normal. And then we've had 2 years of like, nope, haven't seen anybody. Because even at the
yeah,
small show, nobody really traveled to the Calgary Expo, or half the people
right.
did. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Here's for a
it's
quick sec, still comics, obviously. So, Dead Work, awesome. We'll come back to that. We'll come back around to that. You also have a story that you pitched with your writer. You'll remind me of your writer's name again, please.
Josh
Uh,
Rose. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you. I apologize
no,
for the old noggin. But you pitched a story called A Wrench, pitched and have produced a story called A Wrench in the Plan. Did I get the title correct?
yeah, you did.
Good. For Alberta Comics Home, issue 1, which is an anthology series published by Renegade Arts Entertainment from out of Canmore, Alberta. Talk a bit about that story and how it
Sure.
came about.
Yeah, Josh and I worked together. Actually, we have a story we did in Dead Work, a little 4-page short story about a barbarian Josh wrote. That's just so fun. Very proud of that one. So we had worked together. He's a customer at the comic store where I used to work, and we just chatted from there and came up with a little story. And when it came time to submit to this Alberta anthology, I saw it and I'm like, I want to work with an Albertan because all my friends are from Dead Work and most of them are Winnipeg or Ontario. And I
Right.
went, you know what? I should do Alberta. Like, who's my Alberta writer? It's going to be Josh. And so I approached him and we sat down for drinks and came up with a cute little story. And it's like a twist on a boy meets dog thing, a little feel good robot boy meets monster dog thing. And it's good. I'm
Yeah.
really proud of what we came up with.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, I read it this morning as we talked about, and it had that nice little feel good there,
Well,
which is
if we're
always
talking
nice.
about home, we need to talk about your story too, which was also very nice. You had a
Well, thank
story
you.
in that book as well. So you should talk
Yeah.
about that while we're plugging
Uh,
things.
all right, I will.
Reverse Uno card.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's thank you. The story that I did with my artist and friend Jackson G. It's called A Long Distance Hug, and the main pitch that we put out there was, when the pandemic takes away one man's ability to travel cross country to say goodbye to his recently passed mom, he gets to do so. He gets to say goodbye in the form of a dream, thanks to one fantastical puppy. So it's a story, obviously you've read it, and but it's a story that's obviously very close to me, and it's real. You know, sure, there's some fantastical elements to it, as there should be.
Sure.
And yeah, I was very pleased when I pitched it to receive the green light for it, and then we went ahead and I scripted, and Jackson put some amazing art and color to it, and so proud of it. So yeah, that'll be my first published comic story.
I was about to say, yeah, that's your first published one. That's great. I'm really happy to hear that.
Oh, thank you very much.
But yeah, the anthology, it's going to be awesome. Alberta Home there. My buddy Jarrett Hartnell has a story he illustrated in there that is the coolest looking thing I've seen. It's like biker gangs and zip tones, and it's unreal. And then Henry, I'm forgetting his last name. My friend Henry also has a story he drew in there that's going to be just fantastic. So I'm really, based on what I've seen of this book, which is 4 comics, including mine, it's going to be a really cool anthology. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about when that's coming out so we can share it. But Renegade will do a good job of that, so I'm not worried. It's going to be a cool book.
Yeah, as they always do. And the one thing I failed to mention earlier was this anthology. For those who don't know, the anthology is, because I didn't mention it, the anthology is it's all Alberta based creators, writers and artists, and what have you. So which is again another great initiative by Renegade Arts Entertainment, who, you know, I've known Alexander for years, as have you, and they're always amazing at not just pushing great work out for many different genres, from kids to adults and everything in between, but they're also really great at pushing the sort of that homegrown, whether it be Canadian or Alberta based,
definitely
creative work. So that's exciting. It's really cool to be a part of that. So so let's go back to Dead Work. We'll talk again about Alberta comics on another chat like this, or maybe in person at a convention. That would be nice.
That'd be good. I'll be at Calgary, you know, COVID permitting. I'll be at Calgary Expo. So yeah, let's do that.
Excellent. Yeah, as will I. So yeah, so let's go back to Dead Work. So Zach, give folks a rundown on where they can find Dead Work. Obviously, Kickstarter, you can just search Dead Work. It's pretty easy to come up. But if there's any other avenues that people maybe want to reach out, let's say they have questions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, deadwork.ca is that'll redirect you right to the Kickstarter. So that's even easier to find it, I think. We'll put the link in the description on here, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But deadwork.ca will have all the information. That's got our Kickstarter page with kind of everything. And after this Kickstarter ends, that will still redirect to whatever site. We'll just either relink it or leave it to the page with a little button at the top saying, here's where to find it. So deadwork.ca will find the best place to get Dead Work, no matter what time you're watching this from.
Great.
And all the information and stuff will be there too. So that'll always do you, deadwork.ca.
Excellent. And well, listen, Zach Schuster, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining today. It was great to chat with you. It's been great to get to know you over the last little while.
For sure.
And yeah, man. Best of luck. I mean, you know, with the campaign and the book looks really cool, and all the just the plethora of creatives involved in Dead Work is very cool and fun.
Yeah, it's a great group. I love those guys.
I like it. Nice.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, no problem. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, take care.
Cheers.